Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's live commentary action for another NASCAR race. This time it is the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series as they are racing on dirt Bristol, I should say, at Bristol on dirt this week after the running of the Weather Guard truck race on dirt. So appreciate everybody tuning in today. Just getting the chat up onto my phone. I apologize for the late start to the stream. Unfortunately, fortunately enough, I was able to get home as early as I did. I was at my I'm really trying to rush here. I was at my aunt's house. We had family over. Our Easter was technically today. And I thought I'd get home a little bit earlier than I did. I also forgot that there was construction on this country road that leads into the part of town where I live, so I had to go around and take the detour. I completely forgot that was the case because I went a different way on the way there, and I was in such a rush on the way home that I kind of forgot about it. So apologize for being a few minutes late. They're only 29 laps into this thing out of 150, though, so luckily I haven't missed much. But I am here now, so appreciate everybody tuning in. Under caution, it appears, for the second time today. I turned the race on. It was lap 9 when I first turned it on. They were under, I believe, the first yellow of the day at that point. This is our second caution of the race. Yellow number 1 took place on lap 7, involving the number 33, 17, 20, 99, and 41. And then this caution at lap 25, which just took place, involved the 16 truck, the 02, 55, 41, and 12. So a couple of 5-truck accidents already in the early going of the race. Joey Logano is currently your race leader under the caution. Ty Majeski is in second. Caden Honeycutt in third. Matt Kraft in fourth. William Byron is fifth. Zane Smith in sixth. Haley Deegan seventh. Grant Enfinger eighth. Christian Eck is ninth. Chase Briscoe is 10th. Brett Holmes in 12th. Stuart Friesen's 13th. Corey Heim 14th. Parker Kligerman 15th. Chase Purdy in 16th. 17th place is Nick Sanchez. Dean Thompson 18th. Colby Howard 19th. Tanner Gray is 20th. Matt DiBenedetto in 21st. Carson Hocevar 22nd. Jonathan Davenport 23rd. Ben Rhodes 24th. Jake Garcia 25th. Tanner Carrick in 26th. Daniel Dye 27th. Thor Benning 28th. Chris Wright 29th. And then the first truck, one lap down is Spencer Boyd in 30th. Timmy Hill is in 31st. Tyler Carpenter 32nd. Tyler Ankrum in 33rd, and it looks like 34th on back out of the race today. Taylor Gray will finish 34th, Mason Massey 35th, and then Stephen Parsons in 36th. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Jacob Mack, Harry T, Dale Campbell, Sunshine Coolwater, thanks for tuning in. And we should get to 4,000 subscribers on the channel tonight. Hopefully. I mean, we should. We should. We're only like 2 away. Might get there right now. Who knows? But again, I had my family's Easter today, so that is why I was not here right at the start of the race. They actually started right at 8 o'clock, too. I thought that was when Fox's coverage was supposed to go on. I started the stream at 8:18, I believe. And honestly, I thought they were going to go green between 8:15 and 8:20, so I'm surprised I missed the very start of the race. Still under caution right now, about 9 laps to go yet, stage 1. And these teams will have a chance to make some adjustments during each of the stages, I believe, today. Just as you would have saw in the truck standalone race at Texas last week. No live pit stops with this being a dirt race. That will be for both the truck and the Cup Series this weekend. See the raw feed is working, so that's good. They'll be going green this time by. We'll have 7 laps to go at stage 1 when Joey Logano leads the field to the green. Logano in the 66 for ThorSport Racing today. 1, 2, and 3 on the restart here for ThorSport. Logano won the inaugural Cup race at Bristol on dirt. Trying to win the 3rd truck race here tonight. Maybe go for the weekend sweep. Xfinity Series off this week. So just 2 live commentary streams this weekend. Lap 34, green flag back in the air. Logano gets a great launch off the start. Had the outside lane of row 1. Quickly cleared his teammate of Majeski down to the bottom lane. 3 wide further back was Zane Smith, Haley Deegan in the 51 of William Byron. Racing for KBM tonight. Deegan still 3 wide middle. The 19 truck to the outside, and now Deegan will pull clear. The 23 Grant Enfinger was underneath her. They did a great job not making contact there. Caden Honeycutt in the 04 truck is really sideways. He's definitely dirt tracking it. Down on the bottom lane in the 3rd place position in the early going. A lot of trucks still side by side further on through the pack. Outside seems to be the way to go if your truck can run well up there. William Byron and Haley Deegan since the restart making a little bit of ground up there. Byron a lot wider than the 13 truck, a little bit further back. He's running in that, probably if there were 4 lanes, he'd be in the 3rd lane. Deegan actually going to pull down to the bottom behind Matt Crafton, even though she was making headway on the top. Byron now the only driver in the top 5 that is trying to run that outside lane, but again, he is still doing very good job of doing that. Clears Caden Honeycutt for the 3rd place position off of turn 2. Honeycutt a little bit off the bottom lane of the racetrack in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Zane Smith going to try the top. He almost gets passed from underneath by Grant Enfinger in the 23. They'll be side by side into turns 1 and 2 as they battle for the 7th place position. And Enfinger will complete the pass. Chase Briscoe, another Cup regular in the truck field tonight in the 22 truck. Dive bombs underneath the 19, making contact in the center of turns 3 and 4. Washing both trucks up the racetrack as Parker Kligerman in the 75 closes from behind along with dirt racing driver Stuart Friesen. Of course, full-time in the truck series, but races on dirt a lot throughout the course of the NASCAR season. Majeski's been running down Joey Logano over these last couple of laps. He has closed the gap a little bit. He's about 2 to 3 truck lengths behind in the middle of 1 and 2 right now. One more corner for Joey Logano. Through turns 3 and 4, it'll be Logano winning stage number 1. Ty Majeski will be 2nd, William Byron 3rd, Caden Honeycutt 4th, Matt Crafton will round out the top 5 in the first stage, Haley Deegan at 6th, Grant Enfinger 7th, Zane Smith 8th, Stuart Friesen 9th, and Parker Kligerman will round out the top 10. Of course, this is the first stage win of the year for Logano, his first truck series race of the season, and maybe the only of the year. For Logano, great start though for this one. Douglas Lentz, thanks for tuning in. The race is on Fox Sports 1 tonight, if you're wondering. Tomorrow night's Cup race will be on your local Fox affiliate. Race started at 8. Yeah, I thought that was weird, though, because usually when they have the scheduled start times for the race, if it says 8, usually the drop of the green flag is like 15 to 20 minutes after the fact, but that wasn't the case tonight. And again, if you're wondering why they're on a red flag, there will be track prep during the stage breaks, just as we'll see in the Cup race tomorrow night as well. Of course, that is something that needs to be done with dirt racing. You'll see it on local tracks, usually in between like heats to last chance race or last chance race to main event features. You'll see them try to prep the track, water the track if they need to, whatever they have to do to try to maintain the racetrack itself at its current state. And the reason, I should say, the only chance to be able to do that here is by having red flag periods during the actual stages. And with this many trucks on the racetrack, which would be more than you'd see it on the track at one point in time if you were at a local dirt race. And that would be the reason why we will have these stoppages. Dale Opplinger, thanks for tuning in. I know, I just started the stream late. I didn't even get home until 8:05, I want to say. I had my family's Easter today. I was at my aunt's house. They live about an hour south of here. And I had to get gas when I was leaving, too. And I honestly forgot about the construction outside my town, too, so I had to kind of take a detour to get around. Honestly, if it wasn't for the construction, I probably would have gotten here on time, all things considered. Apologize for that. I don't think this live stream started until like lap 26, so we're here now though. This is the third caution of the race, by the way. Free pass, I believe, went to Timmy Hill during this caution. Again, Joey Logano has just won stage 1. And he has led 40 laps so far today. 38 rather. 38 of the 40 laps have been led by Logano. Ty Majeski had 1 lap led in, and Zane Smith also has led a lap. Mark DeMars, welcome into the stream. I had to feed the dogs too when I got home, so that kind of it ran me a couple extra minutes. That's why even though I got home at 8:05, I didn't start the stream till like 10 minutes after the fact. Do that, I had to let them out. You know, usual dog things. Couple trucks staying out trying to get some track position. They will not be able to obviously make adjustments during this red flag period. They will also not be able to change tires. Not sure what kind of fall off we'll see. We didn't see much in last year's Dirt Bristol races compared to the first year. Curious to see what it would look like today. There was no practice yesterday for each series because of rain. They did have heat races earlier today that I was unable to watch for the Cup and the Truck Series, so I really don't know exactly what the track is looking like for the most part today. And you guys will get to listen to the pit reports once they sound the horn to give them this 3-minute period. And the teams are now going to work.
Last one I ever get out. Pit stop's underway, Amanda.
You guys were talking about the performance of the Fords tonight. Every ThorSport Ford qualified in the top 10, kicking off this heat race. You see the 66 on the side there of Joey Logano. He's reporting to his team that the truck is bouncing so bad. If you guys could fix that for me, that would be great. Another one of the ThorSport Fords, the 98 of Ty Majeski. You might have seen at the end of stage 1, all the leading trucks tended to that high lane. He said that the lower lane is just too hard and too slick. Josh?
Well, it's crazy the difference a week can make for Carson Hocevar. Got his first career win last week in the 42 down in Texas. This week, not happy with that truck right now, having a power steering issue as you see them under the hood trying to diagnose what's wrong and how they can fix it right now. As far as Caden Honeycutt, having a great day so far. He was good in the heat races, strong in this as well. Finished 4th in stage 1, just dealing with some overheating issues right now, guys.
Yeah, that's when we saw that smoke out of Carson Hocevar's truck right at the caution flag at the end of the stage, and obviously power steering is the issue for him.
And they can fix that. Get a line tightened up or something broke, but you can see the crew member there working on it.
Everything is so hot down there too. It sounds easy to change a line or something like power steering line or something like that. You can see the smoke now. Obviously, the fluid getting on the headers.
Just been a struggle. And now you have insult to injury there with the problem under the hood.
He had such a good truck here last year, led a bunch of this race. Hopefully if they can get that power steering issue fixed, then he can make his way back towards the front.
Stage 1 is complete. Joey Logano gets the
Trap prep continues during the Stage 1 break of our Truck Series Bristol Dirt Race this weekend. Patty and Rundy Creations, welcome into the stream also. We'll take our first break of the race and wait for them to come back during this break. If we get any driver interviews during the stage break, then you guys will get to listen in. I know they were talking to Joey Logano, I think, pre-race. They have him and his spotter dialed up this weekend. Ryan Blaney spotting for Joey Logano in the Truck Series. They were talking to him, Ryan, specifically during the last caution, but I guess Logano can listen into the radio feed too, which is interesting. Don't usually see that. Would appreciate everybody tuning in, though, today. Weather Expert Gaming, thanks for tuning in. See Larson basically race on easy mode in the heat. No, I didn't get a chance to watch the heats today. I was with some family for the evening, so I didn't get home until right as the race was getting underway. I will try to find a way to watch the heat races from earlier tomorrow morning when I'm getting my notes together for tomorrow's pre-race. Give you guys my predictions for who I think will contend for the win. Drivers who I don't think will run well. Predictions have been pretty good so far this year, so if you're looking for any late race predictions for whatever the case, fantasy or betting, definitely want to tune into our pre-race coverage for tomorrow's Cup Series race at Bristol Dirt. Been pretty good with those so far this year. Predicted the race winner 3 of the first 7 races this season. And as far as my must-have picks that I guarantee top 10s for every week, 18-5 this year through the first 7 races. Based off of what you're saying, though, I could definitely see Larson contending. I have to see where he finished the first 2 years of the race. I think he wrecked out in the first year. I think him and Bell both got in the same accident at first Dirt Bristol race. I'm not sure how they ran last year, finishing position-wise. I'd imagine he had a pretty good run. Trucks are rolling off of pit road right now, though, so we should get back to green flag racing here shortly. And they are queuing up Caden Honeycutt, it sounds like.
Buddy, we were really impressed with the job you did in the heat race, and man, you're carrying it over here to the main event. That truck looks awesome. Doing a great job, bud. How is it?
Yeah, I'll tell you, being able to race with these guys, it's just a level of confidence that I needed very badly. It's just, I don't know, there's something different about being able to run up front, and I don't know what it is, but hopefully we got something good for the end.
Caden, it's Waltrip with these guys. I've just been impressed with you all year long. You do a great job, and I'm glad that everybody in Fox Nation, as you call them, gets to see you shine your talent.
Well, Michael, I've been a fan for you a long time, and I've dreamed of being able to talk to you guys as another level of greatness. So, still got a long way to go. Still got guys to race and guys to go up there and fight for the win and see if I can get a playoff spot. Maybe run full time for the rest of the year. So, we'll see what we can do.
All right, buddy, we'll be watching. Great job.
Appreciate it, guys. Fans, and tune in. It's about to get crazy. That's for sure.
Hey, we have 2 in-race reporters.
Caden Honeycutt hyping it up from behind the wheel. So if you're wondering, Carson Hocevar right at the end of stage 1 had a power steering failure. So they were able to go to work on that race truck. It seems as if things should be good to go, but he was blowing a lot of smoke as the green-white checkered flag came out as he was rounding the front stretch that final time. Hocevar coming off a win at Texas last weekend where he only led the final lap of the race where it ended under caution in a battle for the lead on an overtime restart with Nick Sanchez and Zane Smith. Was able to go from 3rd to 1st on the last lap. He is one of 3 truck regulars to get a win so far this season. Hocevar locked into the playoffs right now, along with Zane Smith, who has won 2 races in the truck series. Christian Eckes also with a win this season. His came at Atlanta. Zane Smith's wins were at Coda and Daytona. Then Kyle Busch won one of the truck races he ran in this year back at his home track at Las Vegas. Red Cross Racing Network, thanks for tuning in. Ginger Williamson, thanks for tuning in also, as well as Billy Kramer. We're under red flag because they have to do track prep during the stage breaks. Just like you would see at a normal dirt track. They have to prep the racetrack. They have to water it throughout the course so that way it doesn't turn into a dust bowl, essentially. Try to keep the dust down. local dirt tracks, they would do it in between like heat races and stuff, but obviously tonight, because it's a 150 lap main event, they have to do it in increments throughout the course of the race. And they would also do this if they had like a 100 lap like feature or whatever, like they do have from time to time. I know some local short tracks that would have like one event a year where they would have like a 100 lap event or something, like with late models, that they would have a halfway break to try to maintain the track. Terry Lewis, thanks for tuning in. I didn't see what place JJ Yaley starts. No, I did not get to see anything about the heat races earlier. I have to go back and watch it. Just under 100 people watching. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button. Helps the streams out a ton. And subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We're extremely close to 4,000 subs. We were so close to getting there during the live commentary race for the Cup race last weekend, so hopefully we can get there here tonight. We should get there tonight, and hopefully we can continue on the tremendous roll that we've been on here on the channel for the first month or so into the season, month and a half into the season. Yaley starts third. Yeah, he is a very good dirt racer. He's a former USAC champ. He has my local track record, actually, at a dirt track that I live like 15 minutes away from. He has the track record there. Green flag back in the air. Matt DiBenedetto, one of the 3 trucks that stayed out of the pits. He'll get the restart in the lead and try to take advantage of it. Joey Logano's the first driver on fresher tires. He is in the 4th place position. He was quickly able to get to the bottom in front of the 98 of Ty Majeski. He's got 2 trucks side by side of Tanner Gray and Brett Holmes, who also stayed out during the stage break. So no adjustments have been made mid-race for the 15, 32, and the 25, but there were 15-lap heat races that took place earlier today, so these trucks and cars for the Cup Series tomorrow have had some sort of on-track activity this weekend. They just didn't get their full 50-minute practice session last night like they were originally scheduled. So lacking a little bit of on-track activity, but at least they were able to make some adjustments, whatever needed. Obviously, they'll continue to work throughout the course of the race. DiBenedetto has a little over half a second lead over Brett Holmes, who has now cleared Tanner Gray, I believe, for second place. Nope, not quite. Holmes, yeah, never mind. Yeah, he is clear. Holmes is clear on the front stretch. Joey Logano now can try to attack on the 15. He's staying on the bottom lane, though, behind Gray. All over that back bumper as Logano squeezes underneath Tanner Gray, uses him up. And by the time they get to the exit of the corner, the 98 of Ty Majeski takes it 3 wide to the outside. Logano again tries to move Gray in the 15 truck. Contact! And Eckes is around further back in the pack. Caution flag is out. Christian Eckes, who we mentioned moments ago, won at Atlanta a few weeks ago, has now just spun. It looks like he's got a flat left rear tire. So flat left rear on Eckes' race truck. This will be the 4th caution of the race, 3rd for incident already. And it looked like there could have potentially been an incident if we would have ran more green flag action just a few seconds longer, as there was contact between Ty Majeski and Tanner Gray. And there were 3 wide with Logano underneath them off the exit of the last corner. And it looked like there was contact with Ben Rhodes and Christian Eckes that did cut the 19 of Christian Eckes' tire down before they got into the corner. And that's what caused Eckes to lose control. That left rear was already flat. So contact the corner before with Ben Rhodes. Punctured the tire. Joey Logano was absolutely bullying Tanner Gray. He was trying to get around him as quickly as he could on the bottom. Didn't want to try to go to the outside. He stuck on the inside behind him for a while. Didn't even attempt to go to the top. And Ty Majeski was able to get to the outside of both of them by the exit of turn 4. They all kind of got pinched together. Sean Royer, thanks for tuning in. Picking Chase Briscoe to win. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Quite a few cautions in the early going. 4 yellows already in the first 46 laps. Most of the truck dirt races are like this. Surprisingly, last year's Bristol race on dirt for the Truck Series didn't have that many yellows. But before that, whenever they were racing at either Knoxville, Eldora, the first Bristol race on dirt for the Truck Series, like there was always a bunch of cautions. And that seems to be par for the course again here tonight. With the free pass, Spencer Boyd will get his lap back. So Spencer Boyd getting the free pass with this caution flag. Currently, the full field running order, lap 47 of 150 tonight. Matt DiBenedetto is your race leader. Brett Holmes is in second. Joey Logano third. Ty Majeski fourth. Tanner Gray in fifth when the caution flag came out. Caden Honeycutt, who finished third in stage one, is in sixth. William Byron in seventh. Matt Crafton eighth. Zane Smith ninth. And Haley Deegan is 10th. Stuart Friesen in 11th. Grant Enfinger in 12th. Parker Kligerman 13th. Chase Briscoe 14th. Corey Heim is 15th. Nick Sanchez in 16th, Ben Rhodes 17th, Chase Birdie 18th, Raja Karuth 19th, and Dean Thompson is 20th. Jake Garcia in 21st, Carson Hocevar 22nd, Tanner Carrick 23rd, Jonathan Davenport 24th, Chris Wright 25th, Daniel Dye 26th, Timmy Hill 27th, Norm Benning 28th, Christian Eckes now 29th after his spin with the flat left rear tire. Spencer Boyd in 30th. Tyler Carpenter is the first driver lap down in 31st. He's actually 3 laps down. He was involved in both of the first 2 cautions of the race back in stage 1. He is still in the race. Colby Howard's still in the race, but he's 4 laps down after damage from an early wreck. He is in 32nd, and then Ford Chuck's out of the race today. Tyler Rankerman 33rd, Taylor Gray 34th, Mason Massey 35th, and Stephen Parsons 36th. Juanita Luna, thanks for tuning in. Antoine Powell, welcome to the stream also. Who I have winning on FanDuel? I have Joey Logano winning the truck race tonight. Yeah, him in the field and him having good success in the Cup Series, I just kind of figured that would kind of translate here with the truck race on dirt. So, yeah, I've got Logano tonight. It kind of stinks you can't pick, like, top 10s in the Truck and Xfinity Series, unfortunately. You only do that in the Cup side. But there's a bunch of stuff you can look at on the Cup side. They'll have, like, group betting, top finisher of each manufacturer, and some other stuff. Top 5, top 10, top 3. I think BetMGM you could pick like top 2 if you really want to also. There's more options I've noticed on BetMGM than FanDuel. Yep, 19 had a flat left rear and spun out, causing the most recent caution. Remember having to stay up to 1 a.m. for dirt race because of all... Yeah, that was the Knoxville race last year. Well, they had like 3 overtimes, and I had to work the next morning because it was on like a Friday night, I think. That was terrible. I also had to do that with the Xfinity race at Daytona last year. Luckily, with my work schedule now... I have off, all weekend long, so I'm able to do every truck and Xfinity race. I was only able to do the night races before, so that's why, last year I only did like 4 Xfinity and 4 truck races. So Joey Logano will actually be on the inside of row 1 for the restart, and Matt DiBenedetto will be on the outside of the first row. The outside lane has been the preferred lane on that front row for the restarts so far. Logano did a great job of restarting up there in stage 1. We'll see, though, in stage 2 what will go for him. Third of the way home, green flag back in the air at Bristol. DiBenedetto tries to take off. Joey Logano with a great launch down on the bottom lane. We haven't seen that from too many drivers today, but remember, DiBenedetto on old tires because of not pitting during the stage break. Logano underneath him will still stay side by side with the 25. Zane Smith almost got into the wall off of turn 2 as he's 3 wide with William Byron and Matt Crafton in the back half of the top 10. Joey Logano not quite clear off turn 4, but he will lead that lap by about a half a truck length over DiBenedetto, who's still on his outside. Side by side for second as well between Ty Majeski and Brett Holmes. 98 slides up the racetrack, had to lift off the exit of the corner to keep it off of Holmes. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Joey Logano is clear of Matt DiBenedetto. DiBenedetto able to pull back down to the bottom lane now. Almost contact again between Brett Holmes and Ty Majeski. Majeski losing the front of his truck. It looks like he may be a little tight in the center off. And he is not able to get by Brett Holmes as a result. More trucks behind them starting to bunch closer together. Caden Honeycutt, who had a great start to the races on the outside of Tanner Gray for position. They battle for 5th place on the racetrack. And Honeycutt will be clear at the start-finish line on that outside lane, so he's picking up headway. Majeski with the slide job getting into turns 3 and 4. He goes up the hill again, clears the 32 this time. No chance at a crossover for Holmes, so Majeski will be in 3rd place. Tanner Gray with another dive to get back underneath Honeycutt into turns 1 and 2. Almost got around him. Definitely a close battle, though, for right now.
distance.
I'm going to tell you my opinion of the weather. It might get a sprinkler too, but we're going to get all 150 laps.
Good, good.
Meteorologist Michael Waltrip working for Fox Nation tonight.
Oh, look at Jonathan Davenport. You see that 42? They were under the hood of that truck for Carson Hosbar. They got it all tuned up. And let's go 3 wide with Daniel Dye.
And Eckes is trying to make his way, and he makes contact with Daniel Dye. Moves him almost up into the wall.
Eckes said, it's time to go. I lost my track position. There might be some rain moving in. Turn up the wick in the 19.
Oh, another lap.
Flat left rear tire on the 2 truck of Nick Sanchez. He's dropping back, trying to get to pit road, likely punctured due to contact like we saw from Eckes, who brought out the last caution. We remain under green flag conditions, though. There's no debris on the track, and Sanchez hasn't spun around like the 19 of Eckes did, so it looks like he'll be able to get to pit road, but he will lose a couple laps having to change that tire under in the pits. So tough break for Nick Sanchez, who came so close to a win at Texas last week, led all but, 5 laps of that race. Unfortunately, was unable to get the win. Ended up not even getting the top 15 out of it, as he ended up in a crash on the final lap of the race when battling side by side for the lead on the final lap with Zane Smith. Carson Hocevar went on to win the race. Ty Majeski has moved up to second, getting by Matt DiBenedetto, who remains in third. The main strategy call there for DiBenedetto, he was outside the top 10 at the end of stage 1. By staying out, he gets the track position. He's going to be able to top off on fuel at the end of stage 2 and put tires on there. So he's hoping everybody else is going to change tires during the next stage break, and he can hopefully end up in the top 10 or maybe even the top 5, really, the way things are going right now. He's still hanging on. Tanner Gray still in 4th place as well, just in front of William Byron. Brett Holmes has fallen back, though, also on that same strategy. He is in 7th as Stuart Friesen just passed him for 6th. Trouble, the 41 truck is around. That is Tyler Carpenter, the 3rd time he's been involved in an accident already today. And this will be the 5th caution of the race. Carpenter, the 2019 Gateway Dirt Nationals winner, so he is a dirt driver running in this race. He has ran some truck races at Eldora, Knoxville, and Bristol in the truck series in years past. And running this truck race again tonight for Nice Motorsports, but he has had a handful of that race truck and multiple accidents, as mentioned already tonight. Logano had about a 2-second lead when the caution flag came out, but this will bunt him and Majeski back on the front row once again.
In my life, air pressure, man. It's air pressure because they're getting those ruts and it's just destroying them. All it is. There's no V-lock on it, so there's nothing to protect it.
Well, we've seen the case of scrubbing have a tire go flat, but also so many tires that go flat with the low air pressure and the way they hit the ruts and bounce around, it just pulls the tire off the rim. Hey, there's the Swifter. Yeah, he's got it going on, doesn't he? Hang 10 car wash, got a Swifter in there.
He's going to have to take that truck to Hang 10 car wash when this race is over, no doubt.
Isn't it funny all the things you have to do as a race car driver that you never thought you'd do as a race car driver?
I never thought we'd be doing this, racing on the dirt at Bristol, but here we are.
There's those ruts I talked about. That'll bounce a tire off the wheel if you hit it wrong.
You know, the other thought is just adapting to change. And, you know, no practice yesterday for these teams. They were supposed to get almost 90 minutes. That was washed out. You got the 15 laps earlier today. Other than that, man, it's just been figure it out as you go along. And as we know, not only you get the 15 laps in the heat, but that track was totally different than what we're going to see here tonight, not to mention the changes this track will go through over the course of the event.
Caught a glimpse of the 24, Raja Karuta, flat tire, obviously, as he made his way down pit road. There he is there.
Had a great run in his heat race.
Left front tire down on Raja's truck.
So he
a lot of flat tires here at stage 2.
Tire per NASCAR rule.
Yeah, NASCAR will allow a damaged tire or a flat tire to be changed without penalty.
The only time you can change all 4 tires, fuel the truck, is at the stage breaks.
It could do some damage to his undercarriage there with all that sparks and metal dragging the ground.
Sway bar arms and stuff down there.
You see this happening, and I talked to Roger today, and I said, what do you need more of? Still looking for that first top 10. He said, luck. We just, fast trucks, wrong place, wrong time. Amanda?
You're taking a look at the 98 of Ty Majeski. This is just his third ever dirt race. And you talk about adaptability. He said that's what he's doing every single one of these races. The truck tonight is feeling a little snug, and he's still saying to his team that the track is slick. But you go back to fall last year, Ty won here and said it was the honor of his life, as this was the first race he ever came to as a kid. And he said it was probably 2003, but he bought a t-shirt that said, "I'm short and fast, just like Bristol."
You hear the story on Ty Majeski. Now let's check out the radio of teammate Joey Logano.
I think we're having an electrical issue here. Shutting off every now and again out here.
It didn't sound like Joey, did it? Did y'all? Is that what y'all heard?
I couldn't tell. I see him adjusting the brake bias in the truck a little bit.
The field is doubled up. They should be getting the one-to-go signal this time by Joey Logano in the lead when the caution flag came out. Again, he had about a 2-second advantage over Majeski. Matt DiBenedetto will actually be on the front row for the restart to the inside of Logano, who will be on the outside of row 1. Row 2 in the restart, William Byron in the 51 truck will be on the bottom, Ty Majeski on the outside. And then in row 3, Zane Smith on the inside, Tanner Gray up high. He's still on older tires. Row 4, Matt Crafton down low, and Stuart Friesen on the outside. Row 5, Brett Holmes and Caden Honeycutt. I believe Honeycutt on the top and Holmes down on the bottom. R. Bob, Stephen Bennett, Delbert Wilson, and others also welcome into the stream. Still 23 to go yet in stage 2. This time by at the line and 82 laps to go in the race. Green flag back in the air. Logano with a perfect launch on the restart. DiBenedetto didn't get going. He's got 3 wide company outside of him with the 15 and the 52. Friesen in the wall off the exit of the corner. He couldn't hang on to it. And now has pressure from William Byron underneath him. Friesen up on the cushion again through turns 3 and 4, trying to get that ground back up as he stays alongside Byron. Can't quite catch back up to the 15 and the 25, who are side by side still in front of him. Haley Deegan trying to go through the middle lane 3 wide in the back half of the top 10 around her teammate Matt Crafton, and Zane Smith was to her outside. Friesen trying to make up a little bit of ground up there. Not a lot of rubber has been built up in that outside lane necessarily. Haven't seen too many drivers up on the wall so far today. We'll see if that groove will continue to widen out as we still have the second half of this race to go. But Friesen definitely the closest to the wall. Middle of the corner, the right rear of his race truck is very close to the outside wall, but not touching it. And even if he touches it just a little bit, I think he'll be all right aerodynamically. I mean, it's not like damage to that right rear is going to really do much. Damage to the actual speed of the race truck if he does tag it from time to time. William Byron's moved up to the outside behind Friesen. He sees the 52 making up quite a bit of headway up there. He passed Matt DiBenedetto. He's going to almost get by Tanner Gray, still side by side at the start-finish line. DiBenedetto now cleared by the 51 as well of William Byron. Almost made contact with him after the 25 moved right back up the hill again. Byron with the crossover moved to the bottom of the 15 of Tanner Gray, went to the outside. And turns 3 and 4. It's going to take Byron's line away. And the caution flag is out again with 18 to go in stage 2. The 0-2 of Chris Wright is around, bringing out our 6th caution already of tonight's race. Still in the first half of this one with this 6th yellow.
His night, that right front wheel's all bent in. Chances are there's a lot of suspension damage. You can see the tire is towed in.
But all the damage to the wheel as well.
See if we can check out what happens from...
Certainly it's going to be Daniel Dye's on board and we're going to get a view.
Oh, like he came up into the 12 a little. I mean, it's hard to tell, but there was some contact, it looked like, from the 12.
We definitely saw the 12 move like he was run into.
12's his teammate.
Yeah, Chris was able to get that truck refired and head towards pit road.
You know, I'm looking at that scoring pylons. Some interesting names right around 10th. Chase Purdy in the 10th position. Coming off
Fox heading to a commercial break. We'll take another break here ourselves. You're watching the Weather Guard truck race on Dirt Bristol for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series live on KRC here tonight. Sid for Brains, Dark Crypto, welcome into the stream as well, guys. Yeah, all the Thor Sport trucks, all 5 of them look like they could win the race, honestly, if they get the track position. Logano looks the best of them. Majeski definitely second. It's kind of a toss-up with Kraft and Deegan. And, well, Ben Rhodes had speed, but he actually got involved in a wreck earlier and ended up falling back a little bit. But he's made his way back up to 14th. I think he could still get a top 10 before the end of the night. And there's still 3 trucks on old tires that were not in the top 10 at the end of stage 1 that are still in the top 10 now. All these caution flags are bailing them out because they're not having to run as many green flag laps on those old tires. They're getting passed by a couple trucks in the restart, but again, can't run more than 5 or 6 laps in a row without a caution, so it's allowing DiBenedetto, Gray, and Holmes to hang on. They're running 5th, 6th, and 8th on the racetrack right now. Regine Huddleston, welcome into the stream. And I'm not sure exactly what time it was when we hit it, but it was during this stream. Appreciate everybody that has subscribed to the channel so far. We have hit 4,000 subs on the channel. Hopefully we can get to 5,000 here shortly. And the goal when I started this season's coverage during Speed Weeks at Daytona, I said, I want this goal to get to 10,000 subscribers on the channel this year. I think that it can be done, so if you're not subscribed already to the channel, be sure to do so. 65% of viewers over the last 28 days are not subscribed to the channel, so I appreciate you guys watching every single week with the live commentary streams, even during the week on the other live streams we have, whether it's the Throwback Thursday live streams where every Thursday we watch an old NASCAR race. This week we watched the 2001 Food City 500. Next week we'll watch a classic Martinsville race. You guys get to vote for that in the community tab every week. Usually on Monday I put those polls up in the chat, so be on the lookout for that Monday. But Martinsville for this next week. And the Truck Xfinity and Cup Series will be at Martinsville. Quite a few off weeks in the early go to the season for the Truck Series. They'll have 4 races in a row. Going there next week. Their next off week will be when the Cup and Xfinity Series head to Talladega.
They got him fixed up, and he's running 3rd right now. Very happy with that truck. He asked the team about the tires, asked them how they look. They said there's really no wear on the tires, so he said, yeah, I don't want to have to come back in and get more tires. Track position is premium, Amanda.
Well, other people are taking notice of how Stewart is doing. Joey Logano was on the radio with his team wanting to know how Stewart ended that last little bit there. Said, what was his speed? They said he was in traffic, but kind of matched you there at the bottom. And Joey said, thanks, guys, I got it.
So the top 3 trucks take the outside lane for the restart, and William Byron, who was in 4th when the caution flag came out, will actually be on the inside of row 1. So Logano, Majeski, and Friesen up high for the restart, the first 3 rows, and then on the bottom would be William Byron, Tanner Gray, and Stuart Friesen, I do believe. Actually, Friesen up high. Gray and then Crafton will be on the inside of row 3. Sarah Bloom, also welcome into the stream. Yes, Cup Series races tomorrow night. Ken Baran, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, our stream tomorrow night will start at 6:30 with our pre-race coverage. Again, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. They've added another lap to the caution. They'll be going green next time by. We'll have 10 laps to go in Stage 2 when they do go green. Make that 11 to go. They're going green this time. My bad. They're on the back stretch, so I was thinking they were on the front stretch, and I was like, okay, they must have waved it off. That is not the case. They will be going green this time. 11 to go, Stage 2. We'll see if we run it to the end. And we'll see if Byron can hang on to the bottom and try to challenge Logano for the lead. Green flag back in the air. Byron does not take off well, though, on the restart. Logano easily clear into turns 1 and 2. Side by side still for second, though, between Majeski and Byron. Byron hangs on. Majeski slides wide. He's been very tight in the center off. Has been that 98 truck of Ty Majeski. Matt DiBenedetto drove it in way too deep into turns 3 and 4. The middle lane between Friesen and Crafton lost a little bit of ground also. Ben Rhodes picking up quite a few spots on this restart. Made a 3-wide pass off turn 4 on Chase Purdy and Haley Deegan. Slides up in front of the Ford truck. Contact! as he got into the 32 of Brett Holmes, and then Deegan ended up straightening back out again on the back straightaway. Nearly 4 wide in the middle of turns 3 and 4 that time as Corey Heim trying to get himself in the mix. Grant Enfinger also up on the outside lane trying to pick up a little bit of ground. Heavy battles for position going on between positions 11 through 16, really. Caden Honeycutt's lost a lot of track position in stage 2. And off this last restart, Haley Deegan loses about 5 or 6 positions also. Stuck on the bottom lane, everybody getting around her on the outside. Byron within about 0.8 of a second of Joey Logano's race lead with 8 laps to go yet in stage 2. Ty Majeski was able to hold on to 3rd place. Stuart Friesen is in 4th, and Tanner Gray rounds out the top 5. 7 to go in the stage now. Ben Rhodes has picked up quite a few spots after going in the back early on. Hasn't had a lot of green flag laps to try to make passes, but he is in position to potentially get some stage points before the end of the stage. He's battling Enfinger for 11th, and Brett Holmes in 10th is not that far ahead of him. Tanner Gray and Matt DiBenedetto still hanging on in 5th and 6th place as they restarted. Stuart Friesen was able to get around them, but they're still hanging on. William Byron not able to keep pace with Logano. The last 2 laps, Logano a little bit quicker. Parker Kligerman very slow. He's against the outside wall after making contact with it. I think he's got a flat tire because it looked like he was down on a rim. And yeah, actually, it's not a flat tire, but something has broken on Parker Kligerman's car. Maybe the suspension of some sort. So a mechanical issue with the 75 truck of Kligerman. Battle for second between William Byron and Ty Majeski continues. That's allowed Logano to pull ahead by a little more than 1.5 seconds over these two. Ty Majeski with the slide job now through turns 3 and 4. Got to pull up. He is clear on William Byron. Byron continues to stay on the outside, trying to put a challenge to Majeski. But right now, Ty Majeski looking just a little bit quicker than the 51 KBM truck of William Byron. We're down to just 2 laps to go in this second stage. Majeski a little bit faster than Logano the last lap once he got by Byron. Logano could be backing off of it a little bit, though, knowing that he had a decent-sized lead, and we're now coming to the final lap of the stage trying to save his equipment. Majeski moved down to the bottom to get by the 51, was able to make it work, and on that bottom lane is where he's really able to get ground back on the 20 or the 66, I should say, of Logano. Logano drives the 22 in the Cup Series, but not tonight. Joey Logano will win Stage 2 just as he won Stage 1, so he'll sweep the stages tonight for his first 2 stage wins in his first race of the Truck Series season. Ty Majeski finishes 2nd in Stage 2. William Byron finishes 3rd. Stuart Friesen 4th, and Matt DiBenedetto 5th. Tanner Gray at 6th, Matt Kraft at 7th, Zane Smith 8th, Chase Briscoe 9th, and Brett Holmes will all receive stage points in Stage 1. Of course, the Cup regulars in the top 10 of Briscoe, Byron, and Logano will not get stage points, but for the owner's standings, all those trucks will get points. 66 not running full time, though, with Logano, so I guess it really doesn't matter there. They're not going to qualify for the Truck Series playoffs, even for the owner's standings, if Logano wins, because I don't think they have ran every race. Could be wrong on that, but I don't think they're running a 66 full-time this year. I know Majeski was in the 66 last year, and Eckes was in the 98. Eckes went to the 19 team, and then Majeski moved to the 98 truck, so Thor Sports back to a 4-truck team this year after making the manufacturer switch back to Ford, as they were in Fords before, and then they switched to Toyota for a year and just moved back to Fords again. And we will take another break during the stage break as you're watching the Weather Guard truck race on Bristol Dirt for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series live on KRC tonight. And we will have pit stops on the other side for the final time today as they make their last track prep red flag of the night during the Stage 2 break. Frank Powers, thanks for tuning in. Brett Whiteside's welcome as well. Just under 200 people watch right now. Only 52 likes on the stream, though, so definitely want to run that like counter up. Should be able to get to 100 tonight. We'll see how many more than that we can get. Riley Wolf, welcome to the stream as well. Boring Brian, welcome to the stream, as well as Riley1645. Got 2 Rileys in the chat. Briscoe might be a good pick for tomorrow. He could be. And you're a really big fan of Lars, so I'm sure he'll have a strong car. Both good dirt racers. I cannot show the actual race on screen. I've got this live updated leaderboard that updates every lap for you guys. Has some other race statistics on there as well as I scroll down. Logano's pretty much dominated this race so far. He's led 77 laps already. Majeski and Zane Smith each with 1 lap led. I should say 78 laps led for Joey Logano. Ty Majeski led the first lap of the race. Logano took the lead on lap 2. Led all the way to the end of stage 1. Then Matt DiBenedetto led for 11 laps to start stage 2 because he stayed out of the pits during the stage 1 break. Got track position worked out for him. And Logano took the lead back from him after DiBenedetto led those 11 laps. Zane Smith started on the pole tonight. JK Boy Gaming, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I can't show the actual race, but I'll give you guys the live updated commentary as the race goes on. Trucks are headed to pit road right now, and get to hear some updated reports on your favorite truck drivers.
Road, but I mean, more trucks are staying on the racetrack, it looks like.
Yeah, the first.
Quite a few trucks staying out of the
sure,
pits, not going to make changes, trying to get some track position, so this will be interesting.
Some of them had to pit because they stayed out at the end of stage 1, and so you knew...
Joey Logano stays out of the pits. William Byron, Ty Majeski, Stuart Friesen, Matt Craft, and Zane Smith. And Chase Briscoe, some of the heavier favorites that stayed out. Carson Hocevar stays out as well. Ben Rhodes, Grant Enfinger. There's probably about a dozen trucks that are out on the racetrack still trying to keep track position. We saw the 3 trucks that stayed out during the stage 1 break get some track position. They should be able to make it on field to the end from the stage 1 end. They would only have to go about 110 laps on fuel, which is definitely possible here at Bristol. Usually go about 140 to 160 laps on a full tank, so even with multiple overtimes, those drivers will be good on fuel. It's just a matter of will their tires hold up to the end. And I think for the faster trucks like Logano, Majeski, I think they should be fine, maybe even Byron as well. Everybody else, though, we'll have to wait and see. Stops are underway.
Let's start with the 25 of Matt DiBenedetto. The team told him the good news is you got some good stage points in that. The bad news is you got to come in and lose that track position. But the good thing for Matty D is having a pretty good run here tonight. He needs a little more help with that truck, so he's having to use the brakes a little bit too much. As far as Tanner Gray in the 15, a strong run for him. He's starting to struggle getting in on entry. They're going to tighten him up just a little bit to help him out, Amanda.
Joey Logano and Ty Majeski both decided to stay out. Both feel like that the truck is coming around to them as well as the track. There were a couple teams on pit road, including Matt Crafton, that wanted to make the decision based on what truck stayed out, and they elected to stay out as well. But when you think of staying out and standing up, those are the fans here in Bristol.
Logano, great tonight. Wins both stages. Has led 78 of our 90 laps. Matt DiBenedetto, who stayed out at the end of stage 1, 11 laps out front. Ty Majeski has also led a lap. Michael, you look good behind the wheel of that.
I've been doing a lot of yard work lately. That thing caught my eye. What is that? How's it work?
I'm not sure you could fit in there, actually, with those long legs.
Major Kenneth Woodrow, Jabiga, hopefully I said your name correctly. David Niehoff, also welcome into the stream. Matt Lamb, welcome in. Screw the haters, dirt NASCAR rules. Or is cool. I like it. I mean, I'm fine with NASCAR on dirt. I just prefer them going to an actual, dirt track. And the main reason is just because I like Bristol so much. I think Bristol's the best racetrack out there. Obviously, there's some bias in there with it being my favorite track, but Bristol's so good, and the fact that we only have one race there now because of having a dirt race, because obviously this doesn't race the same. Completely different surface now. I think the banking's even different too with the way they level it from top to bottom for the dirt race. But I'm all for them going to an actual dirt track like an Eldora. I mean, they have enough seats there to host like 30,000 to 40,000 fans, and that's about what North Wilkesboro is. So, I mean, if they could bring North Wilkesboro back on the schedule from a fan capacity standpoint, I don't see why they can't, run it at Eldora. And I thought the Truck Series had a pretty good, at least seemed like a lot of the fans liked the trucks going to Eldora. There wasn't really a problem with that. And I know Martinsville hosts about I think like 60,000 capacity there, but I was gonna say Darlington's only about 40,000 capacity. I think Phoenix is 40,000. So I mean, there's some other shorter tracks that don't have that many more fans, if that many more fans at all, compared to like an Eldora if they were to go to a purpose-built dirt track. Biffle's your favorite retired driver? Mine too, man. RD, thanks for tuning in. Somebody asked me if I think Haley will get in the top 10. If you would have asked me that at the end of stage 1, I would have said yes. She lost a lot of track position before the end of the stage. She'll have fresher tires. I think she'll be 16. She'll be one of the first drivers at fresher tires. She will have to be aggressive, though. That's one thing I haven't really seen much out of her in the Truck Series. I feel like she does get pushed around a lot, but she also doesn't really do much to fight back with the aggression. I respect that style of racing, don't get me wrong, but it's just something, unfortunately, you have to do. Can't be too scared behind the wheel. And I wouldn't say scared. Scared isn't the right word. I should say hesitant. You shouldn't be that hesitant behind the wheel. Queuing up Tom Majeski from the booth. You guys will get to listen in.
You got a copy?
Phil, how are you doing up there?
Good, man. Not as good as you. That thing really looked like it's on rails. And I want to know, are you wearing that T-shirt that said you were short and fast that you bought here 20 years ago?
Sure is amazing how life comes full circle, yeah. First NASCAR race when I was about 6 or 7 years old here. Stay in the Red Barn campground, never forget it. But no, this Soda Sense Ford F-150s running really good tonight. Obviously, Joey's really tough. I feel like we have a little bit more of a long run truck, so if we can just get going here and hopefully have a long run, hopefully we can have something for them.
Hey Ty, it's Michael. I got a shirt that says I'm tall and slow, but that's a whole nother story. Tell me exactly what you see from that 66 truck that you need to be able to do better to beat him.
He just fires off better, Mike. He just gets going and can pull me 10 truck lengths in the first 2 or 3 laps, and then I start slowly, methodically reeling him back in. So just need a long run here, I think. Like I said, this Soda Sense brand new sponsor from my hometown. Motorsport truck is quick tonight. Like I said, I think we need a long run.
All right, buddy. Take Soda Sense and Tim Duggar there. He's on your deck lid. Take them to victory lane.
Hey, 10 more things, guys. I'm going up there.
Michael, you said you're tall and slow.
Yeah.
Logano's kind of tall, but he's not
fast.
slow.
He's fast.
He's a 2-time Cup champion. He's got it going on. And he's got it going on tonight. Just what we've said all night, Phil. He just jumps off the restarts faster than everybody, and that's exactly what Ty saw and agreed with. Now he's just got to figure out how to work his way back to him.
Yeah, he thinks if he can get a 30 or 40 lap run, maybe even a little bit more than that, he might have something for him.
I wonder if Joey is pacing it, though. I mean, maybe some false hope for the other competitors. And he gets out
a pretty
there,
smart driver now.
yeah, and just make sure that everything is where it needs to be.
We'll see if he's explaining something to the team right now. See if we can ease in there. Joey, it's the Fox Boys. You copy?
I got you. What's happening?
We're just so impressed with the way you fire off on these restarts. Have you got more if you need it once you get 10, 15 laps on the tires?
We'll have to wait and see. A long enough run will probably tell that story, but the Hank 10 F150 is ripping pretty good. And we'll hope to keep her up here and keep some clean air on her.
How's your spotter doing?
He's doing great. He's a wealth of knowledge up there. He's giving me some good info what the competitors are doing. And keeping me calm as a seat. He's doing good.
Yeah, we got him on the screen right now. He looks really confident.
No, I'm sure he looks really cold.
And cold.
That's what I was going to say. Buy him some gloves, would you?
Yeah, we'll talk to you. Adam said buy him some gloves. Have a fun rest of your way. We won't bother you anymore.
All right, have fun then.
You know, the one thing we haven't talked about, and not a lot anyway, because it hasn't been a factor with all the cautions, is Logano hasn't had to deal with lap traffic a lot tonight, you know? And that's something over the long haul that could be a factor here in the final
I
stretch.
don't think any truck has been lapped tonight. They've had some trucks that have had trouble, flat tires, and their laps down, but I don't think we've seen any lapping go on the racetrack yet.
But that would mean that Logano's spotter, Ryan Blaney's got a little work to do. Because so far, he just jumps off the line, as Michael said, and drives away.
He talks to him for about 2 corners, and then he doesn't have to talk anymore.
I think Blaney's just chomping at the bit to work him through lap traffic. He wants him to get in some battles so he can really show his skills of what it would be like if Brian Blaney was a full-time spotter instead of a driver.
I think he'd stick with driving. I think he'd just as soon stick with driving.
I think he's got a few more years left in him.
I wonder where Josh Williams is tonight. Josh is Blaney's spotter.
He spots for Zane Smith.
Oh, there you go. So I was hoping that he could be listening in, because that would be good education for him to say, all right, now you know. It's not as easy as you thought. Instead, he's trying to win with Zane Smith. Amanda?
Another guy leading his talents into spotting is none other than Kyle Larson. Rajah Caruth reached out to him ahead of this race, calling him the best dirt racer of all time, and wanted to see if he could help him out here tonight. When I talked to Rajah earlier, he showed me an entire YouTube playlist of videos of only Kyle Larson. So Kyle telling Rajah some insight tonight. Take a listen.
Just not have enough wheel spin when you get to the center. So we spin the tires more, I understand that's what you're saying. Yeah, I just think you need a little more wheel spin. Or not too much, because it's easy to spin out, but enough to just stay turning.
What an absolutely special relationship. Michael, Phil, did you guys have mentors along the way as well?
Yeah. We both
had
did.
brothers.
We both had big brothers that meant the world to us. Ever since I've been on this earth, I wanted to be able to do what my big brother did, and that vision and that focus that he gave me, and I know it's a lot like you too, Phil, it's priceless.
Yeah, and Rajah, he talked about the YouTube. He's a student of this sport. He really works hard at it. Has a lot of speed. I'm really looking for him to have some great runs in this 24 truck. Maybe even tonight. He stayed on the lead lap even with that flat tire.
Ready for the final stage. Logano up front with his teammate Ty Majeski.
Green flag back in the air. Logano leads the field to the green. Majeski slides the tires down to the bottom, stacking a few trucks up behind him. William Byron on the attack to the outside now for second place with the 98. They'll be side by side off turn 2. There's some rain falling at the racetrack that you can kind of see from the aerial shot as the field enters turns 3 and 4. We have made it through stage 2 and just past the halfway mark, so if we did get a decent rainstorm, it would bring this race to a close. Hopefully it stays away at least enough. Stuart Friesen up on the outside lane, picking up a spot, moving himself up to 5th on the restart. William Byron and Ty Majeski still side by side for 2nd. Majeski's on the outside now, Byron on the bottom. Before it was the other way around. 3 wide with Hocevar, Briscoe, and Enfinger in the middle of the corner. Hocevar goes up the racetrack. Did a great job keeping it off of Briscoe in the middle of turns 3 and 4 there. Remains 3 wide middle. Chase Purdy down underneath the 42. Way sideways was Hocevar. Got a little too loose off the exit of the corner. Had to make an overcorrection, and Zane Smith about got in the back of him. Looked like there was quite a bit of contact, actually, between Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar initially when they got 3 wide, and Briscoe got into the outside wall, which is why Hocevar and Enfinger were underneath him to begin with. Hocevar slides into a little bit of contact now with Chase Purdy, just back for position, still battling barely inside the top 10 right now for about 9th place. Briscoe pulling away from that group of race trucks behind him, still about 4 seconds off the lead. We've got a crash. Purdy, Zane Smith get together, turns 1 and 2. Christian Eckes is around again. Looks like the 30 truck spun out well after the fact, just trying to miss the accident. They cut away right before the wreck had taken place. There was a 3 wide battle going on at the time between Hocevar, Chase Purdy, and I believe, Christian Eckes, and they all ended up getting together there in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Corey Heim was also in that battle. Again, Zane Smith was there. So it was side by side at the moment with Hocevar and Purdy, and it actually just looked like Zane Smith got in a little too hot. So Zane Smith came in a little too hot, turned the Ford truck around. Christian Eckes coming in even hotter, sideswipes the 38 of Zane Smith. It looked like he cut his left rear tire down with the contact, so Zane Smith will have to come to pit road. Purdy to the tail end of the lead lap after backing it into the wall. A lot of trucks are able to miss to the bottom, but unfortunately Christian Eckes ended up just sliding hard, really, into the left side of the 38 truck. DiBenedetto was coming in and just able to get on the brakes in time to keep from running into the back of those couple trucks that were wrecking in front of him. Sean Royer, thanks for tuning in. Longest green flag run, Ben. It has not been long. I think it was in between cautions 1 and 2. No, actually, it was between the restart to start stage 1 and then the lap 6. Caution, we went about 13 laps as the longest green flag run of the race, which is not good for a half-mile racetrack. 13 laps is the longest green flag run on a half-mile track. It's about, 3.5 minutes without a caution? Only 3 trucks involved in that wreck. Again, Purdy, Eckes, and Zane Smith. Second time that Eckes has had a problem today. And the defending series champion and 2-time truck winner this season, Zane Smith, caught up in it. Those guys were battling for about 9th on the racetrack. I believe that just put Norm Benning back on the lead lap with the free pass. In 24th. Mike Sherritt, welcome to the stream. Welcome in from Florida. Just over 200 people watching right now. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 50 laps to go right now in tonight's Truck Series race at Dirt Bristol. We'll take a quick little ad break here, and then we'll get right back into the action. Shouldn't be much cleanup from this 3-car crash. Not a lot of debris left behind, and not really a lot of damage with those 3 trucks, but some cut tires on a couple of them that got together. Christian Eckes, Zane Smith, and then Purdy may come onto pit road to change tires as well after backing it into the wall. Just under an hour's worth of racing so far tonight. Just a reminder, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time is when our live coverage of tomorrow's Cup Series race at Dirt Bristol will begin. The actual race itself will start probably about 7:15 or so. We'll usually go live a half hour to 45 minutes before the start of every Cup race, every race weekend. Give you guys some in-depth fantasy analysis, race predictions for tomorrow, based off of how the drivers have been running so far this weekend, and of course prior stats, and lay into the couple Bristol dirt races we've already had.
Finger in a dirt late model race the other day. He was really concerned coming into the night that he would feel it and he wouldn't be able to race his normal way at least, but he said after the heat races earlier and then the heat races on the Cup side, His hand felt all right. He felt good enough to race. He's going to have surgery later this week, but for now, everything is going as the plan, other than having that brace on for Chase Briscoe.
There's Norm Benning having a pretty good night. 23rd on the lead lap.
And just, I imagine in that truck, he's smiling ear to ear, and Phil.
He's been smiling all day, especially when he made this feature event.
48 laps to go onto the restart. Logano leads him to the green again. Green flag back in the air. William Byron is not going to be able to stay side by side with Majeski for second, as he was on the inside of row 1 that time. He will stay in front of Stuart Friesen, though, off of turn 2 in third place as the 98 and 66 pull away. Friesen all the way up on the cushion, nearly in the outside wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2, trying to get that outside lane to work. Chase Briscoe also up there. As heard moments ago, a brief part of that at least, Chase Briscoe, I guess, had an accident in a dirt late model earlier in the week, ended up breaking his middle finger on one of his hands. He'll have surgery on it next week, I guess, but racing tonight, got a splint on that finger for, or on the wrist, I guess. Try to help the finger for today's action, this weekend's action, really. Haven't had a long enough green flag run for the leaders to get into any sort of lap traffic so far today. It'll be interesting if Ty Majeski has anything for Joey Logano, because he was closing on him right at the end of stage 2. And the 98 and the 66 were able to stay out of the pits. Now, there were quite a few drivers outside of the top 10 that pitted. Most of the drivers in the top 10 actually stayed out. They'll be on a little bit older tires. Hailie Deegan got up into the outside wall, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like she has a little bit of contact, or damage, I should say, to the right rear quarter panel of that race truck. Daniel Dye now into the outside wall in turns 3 and 4. One thing when you're trying to ride the outside up on the cushion, there's a fine line that you need to be on, and if your truck isn't really far enough sideways for the right rear to kind of catch that excess dirt on the outside in between the wall and the regular dirt surface, it can kind of grab and pull the truck to the outside, and I think that's what you saw from Daniel Dye there, and maybe from Hailie Deegan about a lap before. She ended up losing like 5 positions after that. Got up there a little too hard. Honeycutt Thompson able to get through. Dean Thompson had a great run at Texas a couple weeks ago. Caution flag is out again. Our 9th yellow of the race today with 41 to go. Chase Purdy has blown a left rear tire and has spun off the exit of turn 2. Second straight caution with Chase Purdy being involved. Linda Bollinger, thanks for tuning in. Larry Butler, welcome to the stream as well. Buddy Peoples, thanks for tuning in tonight. Kim Goff, welcome. I wonder if Purdy changed tires during the last caution he was in, and maybe that's what caused the left rear to end up going down here. I know they're only allowed to change tires during the non-stage breaks if there is damage to the tire itself or it is flat in any way. So if he didn't have damage to it, I wonder if they ended up not pitting to change the tires. Gonna have to pull the fender out on the Bama Buggies number 4 truck. So we're down to 39 laps left. We've only had one green flag run longer than 8 laps today. Quite a few yellows in this race. Again, 9 cautions already. Most of these dirt truck races have had double-digit caution counts, and we're only 1 away from getting that again here in this one. In the late going. Hopefully we get some long green flag racing in. It's going to be tough to catch Logano and Majeski on speed in this one. Byron's been close to him, but he isn't really as fast as those 2 ThorSport trucks at the front of the field. Is this even racing if they're only... Not really, but... It is a race nonetheless. We'll get more green flag racing during the Cup race tomorrow. This is like just the truck series on any short track. It doesn't even matter whether it's on dirt or not. But when it's on dirt, yeah, they typically have like 10 to 12 cautions every single time. But 10 to 12 cautions in a 150 lap race on a half-mile track is quite a bit. I remember I was at the Eldora truck race back in 2019. And I think there were 72 laps out of the 150 ran under caution in that race. It was pretty ridiculous. And I didn't know if that was like accurate or not. Because I thought that the years before when the truck series was at Eldora that wasn't the case. There weren't as many cautions. So I looked on Racing Reference that like next day. And I saw literally all but one other Eldora truck race before that had at least 10 cautions. I was like, oh, okay, well, guess it is every year it happens. Not only a lot of these drivers maybe not familiar with racing on dirt, that's some of it, but also there are a lot of trucks and obviously cars for the Cup Series on the track at the same time. Versus in a typical dirt show, if you went to a local dirt race, they'd only have maybe 20, 24 trucks or cars at the most. Honestly, a lot of the smaller classes, you're usually in your main event, 18 to 20. I know the World of Outlaws have usually 24 in their main event field. Usually not 36 to 40, though. So the margin for error a lot greater. To see cautions and see mistakes made like we have been seen in these truck dirt races. 35 laps to go when they go green this time by. Logano and Byron on the front row once again. William Byron, you got to give him credit for at least trying to go down to the bottom. Sometimes he's able to get by Majeski to make it work, but he has not been able to stay alongside Logano even getting into the first turn. We'll see if he'll have better luck this time. Trying to time it out. Green flag back in the air. He does not. And Logano gets the launch. Clears by a truck length and a half into turns 1 and 2. Byron going to be able to stay alongside the 98 of Majeski. Not quite. Majeski beats him back to the gas off turn 2 rather. It clears the 51. Grant Enfinger up inside the top 5 on this restart. He is trying to put the challenge to William Byron as he clears Matt Crafton for 4th place. Enfinger has a truck win at Eldora in a photo finish back in 2018's race. Stuart Friesen on the cushion as he's been all night long, battling side by side with Ben Rhodes for 6th on the racetrack right now. Briscoe up on the cushion as well. Briscoe and Friesen have been the two trucks really up there all race. Some drivers go up there for a couple laps to try it, and then they either get in the wall or just decide to just go right back down to the bottom or middle groove. Passing lane, though, for the most part, in that middle to upper groove, if you can get the run on the race truck. Very difficult to pass on the bottom without any contact, from what we've seen so far tonight. Brett Holmes getting really loose up in front of Zane Smith. Just outside the top 15, those two trucks nearly got together. Just over 1 second lead for Joey Logano at the start-finish line. 31 laps to go. Your top 10 right now. Joey Logano's in the lead. Tom Majeski 2nd. William Byron 3rd. Matt Crafton is 4th. Grant Enfinger is in 5th. Stuart Friesen in 6th place. Ben Rhodes in 7th. 8th place is Chase Briscoe. Corey Heim 9th. And Carson Hocevar is 10th. 30 to go in this race. Make that 29 now. Showing a battle between Ben Rhodes and Chase Briscoe for position. Battling for 7th on the track. Both trucks able to get a couple spots gained on that last restart. It's like the left rear tire nearly going down on Enfinger's race truck. Briscoe bounces off the wall, loses the spot he was battling with the Rhodes. And the 41 is around again and hard into the inside wall. Tyler Carpenter, that is now the 4th time I believe he has been involved in an accident today. Carpenter slammed the inside concrete wall head on. with the left front of his race truck that was already exposed. '55 truck was also involved in the incident. So our 10th caution of the race with 28 to go. Maybe got the wind knocked out of it. That was a pretty hard impact. No safer barrier on this dirt version of Bristol. On both the inside and outside walls. Carpenter taking his time getting out of the race truck. Hopefully he is okay. The left front was already exposed from earlier accidents earlier today. So hitting left front into that concrete wall as hard as he did, there wasn't a lot of brace for that impact. It was definitely a hard collision. Timmy Hill in the 55, by the way, this weekend. 56, sorry. Carpenter's getting out of the race truck. So he definitely looks to be okay, which is a good sign.
Just overcooked it a little bit, and he's gonna
make some contact with Timmy Hill.
He just raked his whole front end off.
And that slowed him down a little bit, and he still hit the inside wall hard.
You could see it ripped the radiator out of it as Hill went by. Let's go to Daniel Dye. Go get us some good pictures of this.
Front row seat.
Look at the air. Good job.
You know how many accidents Daniels had to miss? All of them.
Tonight or like every week? We've
Tonight,
been flipping through many different wrecks.
I feel like every time the caution comes out, we get word from our producer, Mark Smith. All right, let's go on board now with Daniel Dye. Because as you said, every time it happens, he's in the vicinity. I said I saw sparks, and there it is with Chase Briscoe.
Tim Irvin, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate that, man. Hanover Raised, welcome into the stream, as well as Jeff Curry also. Heading to commercial break, we'll take our final break of the race then as well, with 25 laps to go under our 10th caution in the truck race at Dirt Bristol, live here on KRC. Up to 87 likes on stream, just 13 away from our goal of 100 tonight on the channel. So let's see if we can get there. Nick Sanchez will get a lap back with the free pass during this caution, so I believe he'll be actually back on the lead lap. I believe Sanchez was only one lap down. He had a flat left rear tire under green flag conditions back in stage 2, which cost him a couple laps. Trying to get back into this. Not sure exactly where he was running before that. Grant Enfinger's name sounds like sport car racing name. Sports car racing, I do feel like they do have a lot of like longer last names. And they're usually odd. It's not like common names like a Johnson or a Williams or something like that. It's usually like a name like that, honestly. A lot of them are probably because they're not American. That probably has a lot to do with it. Enfinger is, though. At least I would assume he is. He's kind of got a southern accent, so... Although, don't some Canadians have kind of like a southern accent, though, too? To a certain extent? You have to let me know if I'm right or wrong on that. I'm not saying all Canadians have a southern accent, either. But I think like Alberta, I want to say like that Providence tends to have some southern accents. Maybe it's just because they like their liquor out there. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people from Edmonton that... I don't even know what that would exactly sound like. Canadian with a southern accent. That's something. .21 to go in the restart. Again, it's Logano and Byron on the front row. At 23 trucks left rear tire seems to be going a little soft. Hopefully, Enfinger's tire will make it to the end of the race, but the lettering definitely rubbed off of it. Green flag going to be back in the air. Byron's had a lot of attempts to try to get on the bottom lane. A little bit better that time for Byron, but not perfect. The 98 pushing the 66 down into turns 1 and 2. Logano pulls to the inside. Great restart by Matt Craftsman on the outside of row 2. Clears Grant Enfinger for position, and now he's right in line behind the truck side by side for second in front of him. Crafton goes to the outside, maybe going to go 3 wide. Not quite going to be able to get alongside the 51 of the 98. Craftsman 20 to go. 20 laps left in this one. Ben Rhodes slinging it, and around he goes. Rhodes loses control. 4 trucks around. Friesen's involved. Corey Heim and Carson Hocevar also taken out in the spin. Ben Rhodes lost control of his truck. There was no contact there. He was really sideways, and it just slipped out from underneath him. Power back into the throttle maybe a little bit too soon as the truck was already going loose on him. Tough break for Stuart Friesen being involved in that accident. He was on the inside of the 99, so when he lost control, he just kind of pinched the 52 into Carson Hocevar, who was just behind Friesen, but couldn't check up in time. And it looked like Corey Heim got a piece of the accident as well before driving off. So Rhodes just got a little loose in the center of the corner. And he was going around. There was nowhere for the 52 to go. Chase Briscoe is actually on the bottom, 3 wide of that, but he was able to get through with no damage. Just slipped by before those other trucks started going down towards the inside wall off of turn 2. And everybody else slips by to the outside. This is our 11th yellow of the race. John Garrett, welcome into the stream also. Hingo, welcome. Kelly Jones, welcome to the stream. I don't know if I should say that or not, but... So there are Canadians with southern accents, is what we're getting at. I'm not making that up. I didn't think I was. No Canadians do, unless they've lived down here for... I think it's a thing amongst Canadians, or maybe they have like more of a southern accent than like other Canadians. I don't know. I'm gonna do my research tonight, and for any of you that are in the live commentary chat for tonight's race or back tomorrow, I will have the answer for you on where exactly Canadians are found in Canada with southern accents. It's not as thick as what it is in America, but I think there are some. Sounds like they're going to try to queue up William Byron.
Hey, William Byron, Phil Parsons, and the guys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Phil, I got you.
You've done a great job. That truck's probably as straight as any truck out here. Do you have anything for Logano? He just shoots off on those restarts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely quick on the bottom. I feel like the bottom has kind of been a struggle for me during this race, but I think the top's good, so if we can get a few laps going, I feel like the top might have something up there.
William, it's Michael. Can you tell the viewers how much fun this is? I mean, for us, it's just so entertaining, slipping and sliding and just trying to chase down the leader.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just controlled chaos. You know, you're never straight with the wheel. You're always doing something and doing something with your pedals. And you know, I got a few adjusters in here with the brakes, so trying to do something different each restart. So yeah, it's a blast. It's something way different.
William, will you learn anything tonight that'll help you tomorrow night?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's helped me all day, so it definitely helped me in my heat race. Had a good heat race, so got to keep it up.
All right, buddy, doing a great job. Finish it off.
Yeah, man, appreciate y'all.
Byron, one of 5 drivers racing tonight that will also compete tomorrow night on Fox.
To the bottom of that list, Matt Craftsman got a late call, I think, this week to jump in the 51 truck for Rick Ware.
He said controlled chaos. There are times where I feel like it is out of control. Yes.
Yeah, control wouldn't be all these cautions.
Josh?
Yeah, and it was a strong day for Corey Heim so far, but he wasn't able to avoid that wreck, and he's got a right front down, so he's going to have to come in and get that fixed, guys.
Man, that's a shame, Josh. He's been so fast, right there in the top 10, week in and week out. Does such a great job, and tonight going to have to come to pit road. Like you said, Phil, we're inside 20 to go. Be hard to scramble back toward the front.
Caught a glimpse of the 25 and Matt DiBenedetto right behind Corey. Corey's going to have to come to pit road. That's going to move Matt up to the 9th spot. Remember, Matt stayed out at the end of the first stage, had to pit at the end of the second stage. Where 14 trucks stayed out. Matt has made his way back inside the top 10 now. Great run for that Rackley team.
And with that, I mean, you mentioned a position for DiBenedetto. Tanner Gray going to jump back in the top 10 when Heim pits. Jake Garcia running in the top 10. Caden Honeycutt, who was in the top 5 for a good portion of this race early on, now going to be scored. Well, he's 7th right now. We'll do the choose. Who knows where everybody shakes out for the restart. But some underdog drivers that have found their way to the top 10 going to have a real chance as we get a restart just over 10 laps to go.
I know the track changes a lot in dirt, but like William Byron, for example, ran his fastest lap on lap 81. And conversely, Logano ran his fastest lap on lap 3. So the track, like you said at the opening, Phil, it has gone through some transition. And Matty D with those fresher tires, be interesting to see what he can do here late.
It's going to be a minute before we return to the green flag. We'll take our final break and maybe get the final restart.
I am looking up. It sounds like it is from Albertans, which is what I thought. I want to find an explanation for it, though. Alberta, eh? Yeah, it's just too much. I'm not, I'm not going to bore you guys with that. So we're going to have less than 10 laps to go and a restart. Should be getting to choose this time by, or maybe even next time by. Joey Logano, William Byron may try to go head-to-head again on the front row. I'm curious if Byron's ever going to try the outside of row 2. Well, I don't think he has the choice, though, because I think Majeski has been in second when these cautions keep coming out. He's taking the outside of row 2, so Byron chooses the bottom of row 1 because that's maybe his best chance at trying to at least get to second and then maybe keep up with Joey Logano, but it just hasn't been the case. We haven't had a long green flag run at all since the beginning of stage 2, and even that was only 13 laps. We haven't had a longer green flag run than 10 laps since that 13-lap green flag run to start stage 2 tonight. Joey Logano has been the fastest truck on the short runs, and because it's been nothing but short runs, Logano's definitely been the truck to beat, hands down, today. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Just under 300 people currently watching our coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Bristol on dirt tonight. Hopefully a lot of you guys, if not everybody, will be back for tomorrow's live commentary stream for the NASCAR Cup Series race. The Food City Bristol dirt race for the Cup side. Logano trying to be the only driver to win both a Cup and a truck race on dirt at Bristol. Car George 95, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, for sure. And he's having a pretty decent run tonight, too. Just outside the top 10. He was running top 5 most of last week at Texas before getting involved in an accident there. Fell back on some restarts at the start of stage 3, which put him back in traffic for that accident when it took place. So Majeski actually is going to restart on the inside of row 1 with Logano this time. Byron will be on the outside of row 2. Usually Byron's been down on the bottom of row 1, but that is not the case here. Grant Enfinger and Byron will be on row 2, so Enfinger down to the bottom. Then Jake Garcia will be on the inside of row 3. Haven't really talked about him much tonight, but having a quietly good run. Matt Crafton to his outside. 9 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Can they make it without another caution the rest of the way? Majeski got a much better launch on the inside than what we were seeing out of William Byron, but Logano still got a pole clear in the middle of the corner. Majeski got into the back of him, but all that did was get Majeski loose off of turn 2, and Logano's ahead by about a truck length and a half into 3 and 4. That was the closest we've seen anybody to trying to stay alongside Joey Logano. A little bit of contact was made with the ThorSport teammates, but they drive on. Raindrops are falling on the racetrack right now, but they continue to race. Matt DiBenedetto slides into the outside wall. He restarted just outside the top 10. He's now going to fall back a couple positions. William Byron motivating around the outside of Grant Enfinger in the 23 truck. That will move Byron back into 3rd place. Matt Crafton on the attack with his former teammate now. And a battle for 4th place off of turn 2. And Jake Garcia still close behind in 6th. Bigger gap built up between the 6th and 7th place trucks of Garcia and Briscoe at this point. 0.6 of a second lead at the line for Logano. He's just hoping it stays green to the end. It's going to be tough for Majeski to try to run him down under green. Going to have to pick the pace up a little bit. Both those trucks are down on the bottom groove right now. Majeski not wanting to come up off the top. Slide job into turns 3 and 4 in a battle for 4th with Grant Enfinger and Matt Crafton. Crafton pulls clear. Enfinger with the crossover back down to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Crafton slides up the track a little bit too wide in the center of the corner. Speaking of sliding up too wide, Chase Briscoe bounces off the wall with the right rear quarter panel in the middle of 1 and 2. Caden Honeycutt with a great comeback after losing a lot of track position at the start of stage 3. Finished top 5 in stage 1. He is now battling Briscoe for 7th. And Raja Caruth with a great rally after having a flat tire earlier in the race. He is going to pass Tanner Gray for 8th place now. And he is going to potentially try to make it 3 wide underneath Honeycutt. Smart move. Backed out of the gas. Almost got into the 04 truck. Tanner Gray going to get right back by the outside of Raja Caruth right now. That's a tight battle with about 5 or 6 trucks for about 7th, 8th place. A lot of changing of positions with those drivers. Honeycutt and Gray now side by side for 9th. Briscoe up bounced into the wall again in 8th place and almost lost some more ground. 2 laps to go for Logano, a 1 second lead over Majeski. No chance for Majeski to get anywhere close to Logano as they come to the final lap of the race. No lap traffic coming into play. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. 1 lap truck of Timmy Hill to the outside of Joey Logano. He's going to clear him easily off turn 2, no problem. Joey Logano will dominate, sweeping the stages at Bristol, getting the race win. His first truck win of the season, and his first truck race of the season in 2023. Logano is a winner. Bristol on dirt again. Ty Majeski's going to end up finishing at 2nd. William Byron 3rd. Matt Kraft at 4th, and Grant Enfinger will round out the top 5. Jake Garcia will finish 6th. Chase Briscoe 7th. Tanner Gray 8th. Caden Honeycutt 9th. Matt DiBenedetto 10th. Raja Caruth 11th. Dean Thompson 12th, Haley Negan 13th, Jonathan Davenport 14th, Corey Hine 15th, Spencer Boyd 16th, Carson Hocevar 17th, Nick Sanchez 18th, Ben Rhodes 19th, Brett Holmes will finish 20th, Zane Smith 21st, Daniel Dye 22nd, Stuart Friesen 23rd, Nord Benning 24th, Timmy Hill 25th, Tanner Carrick 26th, Colby Howard 27th, Chase Purdy 28th, Tyler Carpenter 29th, and Christian Eck is 30th, Parker Kligerman 31st, Chris Wright 32nd, Tyler Ankrum 33rd, 34th place, Taylor Gray. Mason Massey, 35th. Stephen Parsons, 36th. That is your field. Finishing order here tonight, 1 hour, 25 minutes, 23 seconds total time on today's race. Obviously, all 150 laps finished under completion. 54.94 miles per hour average race speed today. 11 cautions so far. 11 cautions total in tonight's race as well. Joey Logano led 138 of 150 laps. Deserved to win this race. Dominated from start to finish. Even with all the short runs. Never got to see how good of a long run truck he would have had, as well as the rest of the field, but didn't end up needing a long run truck. Thing was set up for the short runs and was definitely beastly. Only three drivers led a lap in today's race, and we had a total of 5 lead changes amongst those 3 drivers. Outside of Logano leading 138 laps, Matt DiBenedetto led 11, Majeski led 1. And that was it. You'll get to hear from Joey Logano as well as some of your other top finishers in today's race on our post-race show. And be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. We'll be back again tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Cup race. The rain is falling at Bristol. Luckily, they just got the race in. And again, Logano is your winner.
A salute to the fans.
Joey Logano making his way out of his truck, and the boys in the booth called this the Joey Logano show tonight. And when you look at having to battle the tightness in the truck, you found harmony in the track here tonight. How did you balance the both of those?
Oh, the guys gave me an amazing race truck. It was a great F-150 hang 10 car wash come on for kind of a last minute thing. Hey, let's give it a shot, and called up ThorSport. They had an extra truck with some extra people, and they put it together, and obviously gave me a really fast truck here today that qualified good in the heat race and able to drive to the lead pretty early in the race and then just pretty much be able to control it. So I'm not sure I learned anything for tomorrow because I didn't really get to race a whole bunch, but it was fun leading all laps. I had a great spotter up there in Blaney. He was up there spotting for me, and he kept entertaining and lighthearted and a little bit of fun too.
We showed him several times on the broadcast, and I hope you have some great words for him later. But you talk about tomorrow. You qualify at 12th for the Cup race. You have the chance to double up. Is there any institutional knowledge you can apply tomorrow?
They drive so different. The trucks versus the Cup cars these days are just apples and oranges at this point. So, you know what? My fun meter was pegged tonight. I had a lot of fun out here racing at Bristol. I love it. The dirt's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy the dirt race. And it's a lot of fun as a driver in there, moving around and seeing the lanes move a lot. And, hopefully tomorrow is just as good with the other car.
Congratulations, Joey.
Thank you.
Here with Ty Majeski, who comes home second tonight. Is there anything more you could have done to catch Joey?
He's good. He's a 2-time Cup champion for a reason. Just happy we got ThorSport in victory lane. Duke, Ronda, everybody at ThorSport deserves to be in victory lane. Just wish it was us. Just one spot short. Overall, he was just better than us tonight. I thought maybe at times if we would have had a long run, I might have been able to match him or at least make him nervous. But just wasn't in the cards tonight. Overall, a really, really good points day for us. Just wish we would have got a stage win or gotten victory lane, but overall, good first showing for Soda Sense. Brand new sponsor for me from my hometown, so happy to have these guys on board. They're here enjoying the race tonight, so damn, close.
Appreciate your time, Ty.
2 wins in the playoffs last year for Ty Majeski, makes the championship 4. Great start to 2023, and tonight he went toe-to-toe, as he said, with a 2-time Cup champion.
Yes, ThorSport was so good. They showed it early on in our heat races how good they were. They won 2 and 2 the heat races, and Matt Craftsman won the other heat race that he was in. Matt finishes 4th, so ThorSport goes 1-2-4.
What a great performance for Ty Majeski. Just shows you.
Yeah, we'll go through the finishing results one more time. If we get any more interviews from any of the top finishers from today's race, in the meantime, you guys will get to listen into it, but then that will wrap up tonight's live stream. So again, your official race results tonight for the Bristol truck race on dirt. Joey Logano gets the race win, margin of victory 1.2 seconds over Ty Majeski, finishes in second. William Byron ended up with a 3rd place finish. Matt Craft in 4th. Grant Enfinger 5th, Jake Garcia 6th, Chase Briscoe 7th, Tanner Gray 8th, Caden Honeycutt 9th, had a great performance today, and then Matt DiBenedetto rounds out the top 10. Raja Karuth in 11th, just missed out on the top 10 there. He was battling for it late, though. After some issues earlier in the race, had a flat left rear tire, I think, earlier in the stage, so good comeback there. Dean Thompson come back after a vicious wreck at Texas last week to finish 12th. Haley Deegan ended up in 13th place. Jonathan Davenport 14th and Corey Hyde 15th. Here is Matt Crafton, who finished 4th tonight.
Claim to be, but I've worked on it a lot and tried to make myself better at it and learn some of the adjustments. We were so free in our heat race, and then I over-adjusted, had them over-adjusted, and then I got really tight, and then I only took a little stab at it there because I thought we were going to pit again the second time, but then we didn't. I'm like, oh, we're still tight. We need to make some more adjustments on it. But I could start running the top, and I could really make up some ground when I was running the top because I was as tight as I was. I just could not make the bottom work. All not a bad night, and look forward to tomorrow. Should have fun there.
Strong night for ThorSport, guys.
No question about it.
Alrighty, we'll go through the rest of the finishing order. Again, we left off with Corey Hyman 15th. 16th place tonight was Spencer Boyd. Carson Hocevar 17th. Nick Sanchez finishes 18th. Ben Rhodes 19th and Brett Holmes 20th. Zane Smith 21st. Daniel Dye 22nd. Stuart Friesen 23rd. Norm Benning last truck in the lead lap at 24th. Timmy Hill 25th. Tanner Carrick in 26th. Colby Howard 27th. Chase Purdy 28th. Tyler Carpenter 29th. And Chris Neckis will finish 30th. Trucks 29th on back DNF today as well. Parker Kligerman 31st. Chris Wright 32nd. Tyler Ankrum 33rd. Taylor Gray 34th. Mason Massey 35th. And Stephen Parsons will finish last at 36th tonight. So in total, we ended up having 8 DNFs in tonight's Truck Series race. And again, 11 cautions in tonight's race as well. A lot of caution laps are ran. Hopefully we get more green flag racing tomorrow for the Cup race. I'm sure we will. They're actually showing the heat races on FS1 right now for those of you that are watching. So if you missed those earlier today, you can watch. They already happened, so I'm not going to commentate them. And hopefully I will see you guys back and better than ever again tomorrow. I know I'll be back and better than ever again tomorrow, so hopefully you guys will be as well. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you guys then. Again, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow evening. And we'll have some fun once again here on the channel. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a good night.